So after spending an entire year rebuilding an entire house, we decided to take a break and focus on some smaller projects.
So we decided to buy some land.
We bought over a quarter acre of land in the mountains, and we want to build an A-frame cabin.
I love the look of A-frames, you do too.
They're awesome.
They're such a cute look, and especially in the mountain setting. So we decided to go with an A-frame cabin here in the woods.
This is gonna be the biggest project I've ever done. So the entire series is gonna be a multi-episode series where we're gonna walk you through the steps of building a piece of property, a cabin specifically in our situation, from start to finish, being your own general contractor. Now, let me emphasize this. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm doing as much research as I can. We're gonna capture all the right things to do and all the wrong things I've already done. So this piece of land is a great piece of land, specifically the location it's in. It is high in the mountains. It has a private resort down the hill, has a golf course there. It's got geothermal pool. So everything you would need to get out of town, which is about an hour and a half, to escape the city life, to relax in the mountains and have a great oasis. Now, it took quite a bit of time to prep for this moment that we're standing right now. I would say about 2 months of prep work, 2 months of research with the permitting and getting all the right trades in and everything else that goes along with planning a build like this. We're finally here. Let me show you how we got to this point. One of the first things you need to do is find a local architect that you like. The architects came up with a great layout. They showed me my plot, our setbacks from the property lines. They gave me an animated version of what the property will look like. And with that, they give everything you might need to give to every contractor that you're hiring, from the concrete guy to the framer to even the supplies. Now, this part of the project, what my architect charged me was $1.25 a square foot. So if you're building roughly 1,900 square feet like we are, this closely came up to about $2,200 for the plans and the revisions. Now, we also had to pay an extra $2,000 for them to send these plans to an engineer to make sure that the designs that they came up with is actually sustainable and will pass all the coding and regulations. Then you create literally a sketch that looks like this of your site plan. You're just drawing on. You don't have to have crazy architectural skills. You just write where the driveway will be, which way the house is facing, all that stuff. You submit your application, and once it's all submitted with the plans, the building inspector gives it a stamp of approval, any kind of adjustments that are going to be expected, pay your fee, and you're ready to get started. We're gonna go drop this off. It usually takes 3 to 4 weeks where I live to get your formal approval, and in the meantime, we can start working on getting our contractors lined up. Just submitted my permit application with the plans. Paid $3,000 for the whole process there. They gave me my address sticker, so we officially have an address on a bare land. So the permit should show up about 3 to 4 weeks. Once that gets in the mail, we should be able to start getting our excavator guys to start working our footings and all that fun stuff. In order to find out if you actually can afford to build your house, you have to get bids. There's no way around it. Nobody will tell you how much this will cost. Typically, it's about $350 to $400 per square foot to build. So with that being the case, you got to figure out whether or not it's actually worth it to build at this point. To get started, you need to find at least the first 5 contractors. Those are your excavator, your concrete guy for your footings, your framer, your electrician, and then your roofer. All right, so we hired our excavator, Tanner from Ultimate Excavation. Awesome dude. He's cutting in our driveway. He's putting in the pad where the property will be. He's gonna do our footings, septic, and utility lines. Now, he's not gonna do it all at once. It has to go in incremental order. So the driveway's first and the driveway's first, and then he has to figure out the septic. Great thing about his bid is that it also included the cost of the septic system. So I don't need to go find one to get into, so he's already got that in there. I just got a call from him saying that everything was looking good except that the driveway is way too steep. He said he got done with the driveway, then tried to take his truck back up, and he had to put it in 4 low just to get it up. That's not good because when it snows, that's gonna be very problematic to get out. So I gotta get out there to see what solutions we can come up with so we can keep this project going. All right, guys, I want to thank the sponsors of today's video, Hungry Root. Now, over the past 2 to 3 years, I've been really taking care of my body. I'm eating well and I'm exercising every day. The hardest part is being in control of the nutrition that I take in. There are way too many easy, convenient options for me to eat terrible. And that's why I'm excited that Hungry Root is making my diet so much easier to follow. When I'm working between projects, I don't have time to sit down and eat properly or even healthy. Some of my alternative options have been getting food delivery service, things like DoorDash, and that stuff is terrible for you. Now, the other problem is I'm not really a cook. That's not my passion. And so when I need a meal, I need it quick, and I don't want a bunch of instructions to follow. Well, that's where Hungry Root comes in. They make it super easy, super simple for you to stay on your dietary restrictions, whether it's keto or paleo or plant-based or protein, carnivore, whatever it is, they got it all for you, but not only just meals, but even snacks for the week. Instead of loading up on tons of groceries that you don't know what to do with, what to make with, Hungry Root plans out all of your meal plans for you, including snacks and drinks and anything you need. Hungry Root gets to know your personal healthy goals, dietary restrictions, favorite foods, how much time you want to spend cooking, and more. Then they build you a personalized cart with all your grocery needs for the week, including easy 4-ingredient recipes to put those groceries to use. Each order is fully customizable so you can take their suggestions or choose anything you want. They've got fresh produce, high quality meats, seafoods, healthy snacks, smoothies, and sweets. With ready to eat meals, kid snacks and meals, vitamins, supplements, and more. Everything from Hungry Root follows a simple standard. It's gotta taste good, it's gotta be quick, and it has to contain whole, trusted ingredients. Scan my QR code. So this looks really good right now. Blackened chicken with sweet kale salad. That seems fast. Let's whip that up. This kale salad is incredible. They planned everything for me. Later on, I'm gonna have a snack, my 0 sugar meat stick. I'm gonna chug down my no sugar added acai berry smoothie. Looking forward to that. And for dinner, I'm all set up on tacos. Looking forward to that. The first 100 people to use my promo code MrBuildIt40 will receive 40% off their first Hungry Root grocery order. Thank you, Hungry Root, for making it very easy for me to stay to my dietary restrictions. Now, let's get back to this video.
All right, so a big problem that we're having here is the inspector for the septic is not happy with the regulations that we got in place here. We got our pad up here, which is a great pad, but to bury our septic, we need it to be at the bottom of this hillside that's supporting the foundation of the house. So we can't just bury it right in the hill here. But that's not the big problem, because the septic is gonna go right over there. We need to figure out our drain field, and they are about like 56 feet long, and there's 2 of them. So the only options are cut down 2 more trees right here, which that can get really expensive, and you don't want to get rid of all the trees because you're in the woods and you need the trees. That's why you want a cabin in the woods. But that's not the only problem. The other problem is how far off the road those drainage fields for the septic are going to run. There's another road on the other side of the property. It's surrounded by 2 roads, and it has to be 20 feet away to start. So we have our marking right over there. That's our 20 foot. So what the excavators and I kind of came up with a plan to avoid cutting down any trees is we're gonna run our first line down here, completely across, and then we're gonna try to skip over this tree. They have to be a minimum of 6 feet away from each other because there's 2 lines, but that's a minimum. That means you can go further. So the second one is gonna go on the other side of this tree, in fact, closer to this brim here, which will be perfect. Once all that's buried, what I'm thinking is that in this little section right here with all the lines buried, we're gonna have another pad coming out here to put like a fire pit. So the idea would be, you got an A-frame coming out here, beautiful view. That's right behind me right there. You're gonna have grass on the side here, some steps coming through the middle of it to this little fire pit area that at night you get to overlook those mountains right there. That's gonna look incredible. Another problem that we're running into is this is where the pad is, or the foundation is. But the plans include another like 4 feet of patio to come out. So we realized we have to extend this pad a little bit further. That's my line right there. But we also have some walking room on top of it, so you're not just like falling down and rolling down the hill. So a lot of variables, a lot of unforeseen variables. I think we're gonna change some plans here. This is originally supposed to be one long driveway going down there. And that's the part that you really get in trouble with. There's no way to get speed uphill. And also when all this freezes over in the wintertime, you're just gonna be on an ice rink and that's gonna be dangerous. So we put our heads together, and what I think is, because I have this tree right here, well, actually these 2 trees, that's gonna be essentially our stopping point. And this section is gonna be where you can park your cars in. So you'll come zoop, down right here. We're gonna create a flat pad. All of this is gonna be a flat pad. And you can put 2 cars there, while at the same time being able to back up and then go back up the hill. And as you can see, the way my truck sits, it doesn't look like it's sloped too much. I think it's gonna be a good look for at least what we got going on here. But that's the adventure, right? Don't be afraid to try and fail. Except this time it's gonna, when I fail, because I will fail, it's gonna be an expensive mistake. That's primarily on me, because I have to think through all the steps. I have to think about drainage and water and ice and transportation, so a lot of things. Well, I'm gonna start getting out of here. Tanner said he's gonna be able to get everything done by the end of the day tomorrow, which is crazy how fast they can work. And we'll come back in about a day or 2 to check up how everything's looking and go from there.
Hey Alex, attaches a bid for the windows. I quoted you for aluminum black exterior, blah, 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 blah. I quoted you a fiberglass too. The lead time is 6 to 8 weeks. Because right now we're the beginning of fall here, and it's gonna start snowing in November. We gotta get this thing dried in, roof, windows, at least weather strip, moisture barrier around the house, dried in before the snow kicks in. Because when the snow kicks in over there in the mountains, you might as well start all over on this project. So we locked in our electrician. They are setting up temporary power to the property. Let's go see what it's looking like. This seems a little overwhelming, but I'm trying to go one bite at a time. I mean, besides, I did the whole abandoned house. This should be a lot easier. All right, just got back to the land here, and it looks like they added a few things. Now, in the steps of building anything on a piece of land, you need to figure out power. Once everything's excavated, you gotta get some temporary power for your contractors to power their equipment. We contacted our local power company, and they came out and they ran power off of the existing power line over there to my property here. Now, this will be my permanent power pole, that the power will be running down into the ground to the cabin. But before they can do that, they put a temporary power post. This is where you talk to your electrician. We're working with Noah from Red Dog Electric. He's incredible. He's local here in Idaho. He came out with his team, set a temporary post in place. Then they put a meter on there, and this is temporary power for all the contractors to be able to power their equipment. I think it's 2 20 amp outlets, power your generators, power your saws, drills, all that stuff, and then 1 30 amp outlet there. Essentially, you can also power your trailer if you want to come up here and do some camping. Now, when you're gonna do something like this, there's so many hidden costs that you don't realize that goes to building a property. So to run the power just to your property, it always varies depending how far they have to go. Is it underground or whatnot? So for this step alone is about $4,500. I live in the state of Idaho. That's kind of the cost right now. So put that in the back of your mind of when you're running power, you're looking close to about 5 to 7 grand just to get power to that property. Guys, we got our footings dug out. This looks like an aggressive pit. So the architect and the engineers came back. We submitted the plans to the building department, and the only difference we have to make is the footings have to be 36 inches past the frost line. So this is a big, deep hole. You got to consider you got 8 inches of footing plus your stem wall that's total of 36 inches above, and then however many inches above the grade so water can slope away. This is nuts. This is absolutely crazy. I actually feel intimidated while being excited because this looks like a crater fell into it. We are excited to start building. We're gonna have the concrete guys come in next week, pour the foundation. We're gonna have the framers come in right after them, and then we're gonna have the roofers come in. This is gonna be an insane project.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see it come to life with the A-frame, with the beautiful windows and that gorgeous view out there. I'm excited. I have so many ideas for the inside too, which probably you're scared about.
I'm less scared of that than this big hole that's dug right there. Yeah. There's no turning back now. Let's get after it.
Let's do it.
Make sure you tune in for the next episode. It's gonna be beautiful what's gonna come after this. Thanks for watching. In the meantime, check out this video that I think you might enjoy. Bye.